Greetings YouTubers, and welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts collection overview video. Today I'm joined by Miss Hannah and Miss Heidi, and strewn across my bed are some editions that I have that I've collected over the years that have been signed. So this is going to be a signed edition collection overview. And before I do get into the collection, I just want to give a big shout out and a thank you to a special friend and YouTuber out there. I told myself and I told others that are close to me that I would never mention this again on my channel. I was toying with the idea at one time of having a Patreon for this channel. I started to create a Patreon channel. I never quite finished it, and I never really promoted it. But there's a YouTube viewer and friend of mine named Donato who recently donated to my Patreon that I did not even know I had activated. And I just wanted to point that out and give a big, huge thank you to Donato. If I ever do get a bigger channel, which I'm not really that concerned about, this is just a hobby for me and for fun. I get a little bit of money from AdSense, not very much, pennies basically. And I would do this for fun because this is, or for free, because this is just a hobby for me. And I love to share off some of the collection pieces that I have and to kind of have some banter back and forth with you guys out there. But I did want to give a big thumbs up and a shout out to Donato, and thank you very much for doing that. And let's get into the editions here that I have. And I don't really have a method to this madness again. I just have some stuff piled up here. And I'll start with a couple of VHS tapes for this edition. And this is a Jimmy Screamer Claus movie called When Blackbirds Fly. This is a limited edition VHS release. The movie came out in 2015. And you can see he was using kind of the Disney font. And this is a very trippy movie again. If you know Jimmy Screamer Claus's movies, they're very well done. They're an animation style horror genre films, and he signed this one in gold Sharpie to Todd Screamer Claus, and this one was very limited to 100. I got number 8, so this is a rare piece and a gem in my collection. And keeping on the Jimmy Screamer Claus tip here, we have another one that he sent to me. This is also When Blackbirds Fly, and this one is a very unique piece. There's a lot of glitter, and you can see that there's a little character there on the cover, and I don't really like to handle this one too much because I get glitter everywhere, and this is a really nice piece. I don't want to mess it up, but there's the tape on the inside. It's the same exact movie that I just showed. And this one came with a, I guess, kind of a birth certificate. Here, let's see if I can stretch this out and read it to you guys. It's pretty funny, pretty cool little piece. This is the birth certificate. It's a worm. You can see that the worm's birthday was the 17th of January, 2016. It is number 8. The worm birth weight was 9 ounces. So I'm not really sure what he made. Looks like it's a lot of colored glue and some other gel or something. He's got a couple of the googly eyes on there. See some of the brain matter coming out of the top. It's very, very cool. The worm format is VHS, and it was originally issued to Todd E. Walnuts. Hail Kane. Kane is the main character in the film. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't remember if I ever showed this off before. I keep this in a box. And I keep it wrapped in plastic because I don't want all that little glitter and stuff to get all over the place. But I thought I would pull it out for this little video here that I'm sharing with these signed editions and numbered limited editions. So that was the Jimmy Screamer Claus 2-pack, or 2 VHS collection pieces. If you guys are interested in checking out Jimmy Screamer Claus's stuff, he has his own website, screamerclaus.com. You can also find him on Facebook if you want to follow him there. He's got a lot of cool stuff there. And continuing on with the VHS, I have 2 more VHS for this video, and this is kind of a sad piece right here. This is from the screenwriter from the original movie E.T. And this was signed by Alan Duvall, who recently died from coronavirus 2 weeks ago. And this was sent to me by my good friend Tanner Ross in Hollywood, California. So thank you. Big shout out to Tanner Ross. And it was said that, or actually he was the director of photography, not the screenwriter. Sorry about that. And it was said that when he became ill, and I guess it happened very quickly, he was laying in a hospital bed in Hollywood. And when Steven Spielberg found out that he was ill, he wrote him a letter. And Alan Duvall read the letter several times on his deathbed before he passed away. It meant a lot to him. So I thought that was pretty touching, and it's really nice to have his autograph here on the original VHS from E.T. And I want to share one more thing with you guys from Mr. Alan Duvall. And this was also sent by Tanner Ross. And this is the E.T. clamshell. And it says, "To Todd," from Alan Duvall. And he wrote something on the inside of here that I found very interesting, and it's like a time capsule piece. I really like this. And Mr. Duvall, he was 77 when he passed away a couple weeks ago. And it says, "Dear Todd, I hope that this video transfer stands in well for the original. I also recommend the 12-inch video disc as an excellent stand-in for the original, Alan Duvall." So I thought that was pretty cool that, you know, he was talking about some ancient media formats. And it's really cool to have that in writing in his memory. So Tanner, thank you very much for these. I'm glad to have these in the collection. And we'll continue moving on. I have a couple of titles from Severin Films, and you can see I got glitter all over my hands. So I may have to pause this soon and go wash that off. But this is a Blu-ray from Severin Films called The Killing of America. And it's signed by director Sheldon Reenan. This is an all-region documentary type film about all the horrific events that have happened in the history of America. Serial killers and war and different things of that nature. Another one from Severin Films. This one is called The Other Hell. This is a nunsploitation horror film signed by Claudio Fragasso, who did the screenplay for this film. And I put that in a black case. And I think that gold Sharpie signature looks really good. And the same with the next one. This is a film by Mario Baino called Dark Waters. He signed it there in silver Sharpie. I put that in a black case. I like the way that that looks. Severin Films, Combat Shock, a film by Buddy Giovinazzo. This one is in plastic. It has a slipcover, and he signed it there at the bottom. It was limited to 2,000 pieces. I got number 1426. It also came with the signed book, which I have in a different room. I'm just showing the movies today. And the last one from Severin Films is a twin billing by Frederick Friedel. This is Axe and Kidnapped Co-Ed. And you can see that Mr. Friedel signed it there in gold Sharpie. And I'm going to pause it for a moment. I'm going to go wash my hands and continue on. Okay, continuing on and going back to Jimmy Screamer Claus. This is the Blu-ray, limited to 100 copies of When Blackbirds Fly. And he signed it up there in gold Sharpie. It says, "To Todd, sometimes shitting is hard. Keep trying. Screamer Claus." And he's quite the character. I got number 34 out of 100. And let me know below if you guys have ever had a chance to watch this movie or any of Screamer Claus's movies. Let me know what you guys think of those. He sent a lot of swag. He always does when he sends you guys out movies. If you buy from him directly, he sends posters and bumper stickers and cards and signs everything. He's a really nice guy. And he sent a kind of a mixtape, the Mountain Oddities it's called. Screamerclaws.com. Really, really nice guy. If you stop over and talk to him, tell him Toddy Walnut sent you. It's always good to know that people have been shouting you out. So that is When Blackbirds Fly on Blu-ray. Here is an item from Unearthed Films. This was directed by Stephen Bureau, and it's signed by a bunch of people, including 8, the chosen one, who played in the movie. Signed up by just about everybody who had something to do with the film. And this was limited to 100. I got number 50. There's the DVD and the insert. Here's another one I got from Tanner Ross. This is The Love Witch, a film by Anna Biller. And he got this signed in person. I don't remember if this was at Amoeba Records or one of the Hollywood stores out there. He was able to attend, and he got a bunch of people to sign this up for me. I thought that was really cool. It's all in gold Sharpie. And it comes in this, and she's beautiful, by the way. Very nice looking woman. Comes in this little digipack, and there's the film. Here is a Friday the 13th edition. You guys have probably seen this before. I wanted to throw it in and include it in the video for those who haven't seen it before. This was signed up by a couple people from the original Friday the 13th from 1980. The big one being Victor Miller, there in gold. He is, I guess he's considered kind of like the godfather of the franchise, because he is the original screenwriter for the first film that spawned what is now 12 sequels, or the original plus 11 sequels. There's 12 films out right now. Also had Ari Lehman, who played the first Jason. Tom Savini, special effects. I did show this one before. I wanted to show it again. Getting into independent horror. This one is called Found, and it's signed in silver Sharpie by the director Scott Shermer. This is from a company called Forbidden Films. Very good little horror film. Got some pretty good gore in it too. And then here's Headless. These two go hand in hand. This one was signed by a couple people, and the only one I really know for sure is Shane Beasley, who was an actor in the film. This is the uncensored director's cut. I don't know who the other two are that signed there in the silver Sharpie. And this was a gift from my friend Jordan, who has given up 96. And I always do keep the little cards when people send me stuff, just for like a little friendly reminder. And then again, here are the two from Forbidden Films. And continuing on, we get into my good friend. This is what I call the Jeff Wedding pile. And Jeff is a good friend of mine. He's a film director, and he is doing very well for himself. He's moving right along, and he's directing some great films. This one is called A Measure of the Sin, which is signed there in gold Sharpie by Mr. Jeff Wedding. Limited edition on DVD, which does now have a Blu-ray release, and I will share that with you guys here. Here is the twin billing of A Measure of the Sin and Blind, double feature, number 60 out of 200. All region. Here is the single edition of Blind, signed again by Mr. Jeff Wedding in silver Sharpie. Again, all region. Beautiful edition. And then my favorite edition from Jeff, and this is his latest film. Everybody should check this out. This is Tennessee Gothic, a horror sex comedy, and it's signed up by just about everybody who had something to do with the film, including Jeff there in gold Sharpie. And Katie Groshong up there in the top right. Let's see if I can pop this open here. Very, very good film. I recommend it to everybody out there. I'm sure a lot of you have had a chance to watch this by now. If you haven't, check it out. And then Jeff also sent me a film tin that I thought was really cool, and this was authentic film from the movie. And this, I'm not really, you know, I don't really know a lot about the film industry, but this was from roll A3, I guess magazine 1. He loaded 400 feet of footage, I guess that's what that means. Title, Tennessee Gothic, Jeff Wedding, from July 6th of 2016. And on the inside, it has a little piece of the film reel. I thought it was really cool. And on the back it says Tennessee Gothic, Todd Sheedlow, which is my real name. And from the Eastman Kodak Company. So this is a nice little piece that I keep displayed in my movie room. I just wanted to add this because I was showing off some of his movies here. So that is my little Jeff Wedding pile. Moving right along, I get into my Jimmy O Burrell pile. And Jimmy is a producer, director, and his lovely wife, April, is a beautiful actress who acts in a lot of his movies. And this movie is called Silver Scream. And it's signed there by Jimmy O Burrell in silver Sharpie. And the next one is called Chainsaw Sally. It is signed by Jimmy, and it is also signed by his wife, who plays Chainsaw Sally. And it says, let me see if I can read that without the glare. To Todd, Love, Murder, Chainsaw Sally, April Burrell. And this movie also starred Gunnar Hansen, and he was good friends with Jimmy O Burrell. And this is kind of a horror tribute to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'm trying to see when this came out. I think it was like around 2013-ish. Well, the movie came out in 2007, but I think I got this around like in 2013 or so. So that's a pretty cool piece to have. Here's another film directed by Jimmy O Burrell called The Good Sisters, starring April Burrell and Debbie Rochon. This is the unrated psychosexual director's cut. And April and Debbie Rochon are like best friends. And here is the Chainsaw Sally show. This is season 1. This was a spin-off of the movie Chainsaw Sally. And this one is again signed by, it says, it's signed by April Burrell. It says, Love, Scars, Chainsaw Sally. And she signed it there. And then Jimmy signed it there. And their daughter also took part in this movie, and she's Lily Burrell. So I got the little trifecta of the Burrell family. I thought that was pretty cool. And let me know if you guys ever had a chance to watch any of Jimmy O Burrell's movies. And this is a 2-disc set. It comes with some swag here. This was his, or this is his movie company, Forbidden Pictures. Comes with a little insert here. There's the lovely April Burrell. And really cool disc art. So that is my little Jimmy O Burrell pile. The next pile is from Full Moon. And the first movie here is on DVD called Trancers. And this was signed by Tim Thomerson and Charles Band. There you can see in that white bar. It was limited to 250. I got number 19. Good little sci-fi film from the 80s. Or was it 80s or early 90s? Late 80s, I think. Something like that. Next one is the original Puppet Master. I love that cover. This was signed by Charles Band. Again, I got number 10 out of 250. Still need to pick up a box set on Blu-ray of the Puppet Master franchise. See if I can get that Toulon wardrobe box set on Blu-ray. It's pretty expensive, but at some point I'd like to pick that up if I can find it for a good price. Here is Bloodstone, Subspecies Part 2, directed by Ted Nicolau. And he signed it along with Charles Band, and this was limited to 250. I got number 65. And the last one from Full Moon is the Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell film Intruder. Too bad I didn't get either of those two to sign it. That would be awesome. But I did get Charles Band. And out of 250, I got number 47. Look at that cover. Or look at that artwork. It's really cool. This is a fun movie. I really enjoy this. Not too many people talk about this one, but this is a fun watch. So that was my little Full Moon pile. Next up is my retro media pile, the company that is owned and operated by Fred Olin Ray. And the first one here is the Alien Factor. Good little sci-fi horror film from the 80s. This one's signed by George Stover, who still to me has one of the best, most crisp signatures I've seen. Next one is called Biohazard, the special signed edition. Really cool cover. This one was signed by Fred Olin Ray. The next one is Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. I like that little tagline at the bottom. The 4th greatest B-movie of all time. Special signed edition, Fred Olin Ray. Another horror sci-fi, The Alien Dead. Signed by Fred Olin Ray, limited to 1,000. I think all of these were limited to 1,000. This is a little short movie, 75 minutes running time. Next one is the 25th anniversary edition of Evil Tunes. Would have been cool to have David Carradine sign this, but it's signed by Fred Olin Ray again. And then the only DVD edition that I have signed on Retro Media is the Steve Latshaw collection, which includes Dark Universe, Biohazard 2, and Jacko, which is called Jacko and Friends. And Mr. Latshaw signed it on the back. So that is my Fred Olin Ray Retro Media collection. Up next is a film called Abbey of Thelema, which is a movie about Aleister Crowley. This one came out in 2008. This was one I crowdfunded a long time ago. And this one's signed by Vincent Jennings, who was the producer of the film. And he says, 93 Todd, enjoy, 93, 93, 93. There's a couple of other signatures there. You can see the editor signed it. I have a couple movies here from Mike O'Mahony. And this is kind of a, I guess more like of a horror comedy type movie called IBS, Irritable Bowel Syndrome. He wrote on there, Todd, I almost shot you in the dick. That's a line in the movie. Mike O'Mahony signed it. I put it in that red case because I think it looks a little bit better than the regular black case. Comes with the movie and a insert. And I have Sloppy the Psychotic, which was actually sold in stores. They had this at, I believe it was sold at Best Buy and Walmart, so he was pretty excited about that. This is very underground. This director here is very underground, but he put, Todd, I'll see you in hell. Love, Mike O'Mahony, who played Sloppy the Psychotic in the film. So not only did he direct the film, he also starred as the killer clown. So that was my little Mike O'Mahony double billing. Next one is called Robot Ninja, and this is a film by J.R. Bookwalter, and I really enjoyed this film. It was it's a very underrated film. It's one of his earliest works, and he put out this Ultimate Edition a year or two ago, and it's really worth picking up if you ask me, in my opinion. And there he signed it on the back. And I also do have the poster here. I'm hanging up on my wall. That also came with this movie. The next one is a film I have yet to watch. And this one is called, this was the Kickstarter backer special edition, called Frankenstein Created Bikers, and it's signed by a whole bunch of people. I have no idea who these people are. But there's a lot of cool signatures, different colors, silver, black, gold. And this one was limited to 1,000. I got number 277. It's signed there by the director, who is Jet Bryant. I could be wrong about that. But comes with a couple cards, couple discs. And I think I picked this up on Diabolic DVD a couple of years ago. 2016 this came out. Again, I think this is another one I picked up on Diabolic DVD. Either that or it was on a Facebook group, I don't remember. This is called Die You Zombie Bastards. And it says, to Todd. Yeah, this, I must have crowdfunded this because they wouldn't have signed it at Diabolic DVD. I can't really read what that says. But it was limited to 200, and I got number 92, signed by some people. There, I don't really know. I should have more info about that. Thanks for your order, Caleb. So I'm really drawing a blank on this. I don't really remember where or when I got this. And to be honest, I don't think I watched it. Can't remember. Here's a movie from my buddy Ron Bonk over at Sub Rosa Studios. This is House Shark. I helped crowdfund this one. Comedy horror. Comes with a beautiful slipcover, but it is signed up by quite a few people who had something to do with the film. I don't think this was limited. Well, pretty much everything at Sub Rosa Studios is limited, but I don't think it was like ultra limited to 200 or anything like that. But it's a cool little addition to have. House Shark. Here's a movie from my buddy Todd Sheets. This is called House of Forbidden Secrets. And he signed it in a very strange and unique place. I don't really remember anybody ever signing on the inside, but there he signed it up on the inside of the disc, or of the case. I wish he would have signed it right up in here somewhere, but I can always reach out to him and have him sign it. I'm friends with him on Facebook and talk to him quite a bit. So that is House of Forbidden Secrets. Here's a movie called Pieces of Talent, directed by Joe Stauffer, signed up there by Joe Stauffer. Very good film, underrated. Limited to 150, I got 148. Shutterblade Media. Piecesoftalent.com, Shutterblade Media. You can find them on Facebook. Very fan-friendly. If you reach out to him on Facebook, he'll answer any questions you have, or if you want to just give him a shout out, tell him you love his movies, he'll hit you back. He's a cool dude. And moving on to the next one, I only have a couple more to show, and then we'll wrap the video up. This is a film called Manson Family Movies. It's a 2-disc limited edition signed by John Asnile. And it also has the bonus disc, the Sharon Tate Home Movies, but John signed it there in gold Sharpie. This was put out by Cult Epics a couple of years ago. Really nice edition of the film. This was pretty limited, but I don't know what it was limited to. A couple hundred. Cult Epics always has limited runs, and they always do a really good job with their movie packaging and the restorations and all that stuff. And then the last one, I saved the best for last, in my opinion, my favorite anyway. This is the Arrow Video box set called the Scarlet Box. Includes Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3, and it is signed by Pinhead himself, Doug Bradley, in gold Sharpie. I'm sorry, silver Sharpie. So that was my little collection of some of the items I have signed. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope that you guys are doing well wherever you are. Comment down below. Let me know how you guys are doing. If you're ugly and lonely, like I always say, comment below and I would be glad to converse with you. You'll still be ugly, but you won't be lonely anymore. Thank you guys for watching, and for Miss Hannah and Miss Heidi, I am out. Take care.